Welcome to today's practice. In this short session, we're going to go through some of the shapes and positions that you will experience in your smooth sessions. Want to get familiar with those, continue to build on the different variations as we show up for that daily practice. We're going to start things off in the hands. Let's clap those hands together, get a little heat going. Whatever's available in terms of pressing your hands together. Sometimes this can be really nice and slow if we're feeling a little lethargic. Maybe you want to pick that tempo up, feel a little engagement through the shoulders, the chest, the back, the core. And we'll take that into a nice shake of the hands. Shaking out any tension, getting the blood flowing. Taking it into a little pulse through the body. We're going to stick the hands out into a T and we're going to squeeze and open. One of the things we want to continue to focus on is sensing our reality, our experience through our hands. So I'm not just thinking about squeezing my hands and feeling it in my hands. I want to bring that back towards the center. So squeeze through the hands and experience that more towards the center of the body. And then really focusing on that opening of the hands, reaching through the fingertips and also widening the space between your fingers. Maybe getting a little fatigue going. Let's pick up the tempo for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Once again, shake those hands out. And we're going to do one more thing through the wrists and the hands because we are going to be using them in this session and hopefully throughout the day. So clap those hands together. We're going to clasp and we're going to focus on rolling one wrist over the other. One thing I like to do with this is bring my forearms together and feel that rubbing of the forearms together as well. Just wakes up everything. Let's go ahead and reverse directions. I did a parkour class last night and we did some stuff swinging on a bar. I was trying to swing on that bar and then launch myself onto a bar that was about 6 feet away. So my forearms are really feeling it, but they're starting to feel more dialed in. Next up, we're going to take it into the Invigorator. So whatever tempo makes sense for you here, that's fine. We're going to reach up, inhale, exhale, coming into a nice little hug. As we hinge forward, we can bend those knees, flex through the spine, and you can start to pick up the tempo and that intensity as you get more into your body. As I pick up the tempo, maybe you want to do the same. Also, getting familiar with hinging back through the hips, flexing through the spine, giving yourself that nice little hug, that tap on the shoulders. We're going to go 3, 2, 1, and rest. Let's get into the spine. So we're going to start a little bit wider through the feet. If you want to point your feet out a little bit, this will help with the second position we're going to get into. But tuck the chin, rounding through the spine. You can bend those knees coming down to the ground. Once those hands reach the ground, we're going to sink into a squat. Great opportunity to drive those feet into the ground, really start to activate everything through the hips, the knees, and the ankles. And then we're gonna go straight leg. Roll it up. So focusing on waking up the spine, if you can, or at least set the intention of feeling each vertebrae move at a time. Sinking into that squat, coming into the straight leg, and then rolling back up through the spine. Take as much time as you need. Getting heavy through the head. Allowing that to pull you down to the ground. Again, great opportunity to get active through those feet. Let's get one more. Tucking the chin, rounding the upper back, starting to get into the lumbar spine, into that squat, straight leg. Starting to get into that relationship with gravity that is supportive of your body opening up. So we're going to do one more roll down, tucking the chin, coming all the way down into this squat. Once we're in the squat, we're going to stay nice and low, walking the hands out, heel to fingertip, into a plank, getting into the plank, and then staying low, leading with the hips, coming back into that squat. And as is the case with our squat, we can always focus on getting back into the hips. And if that means I'm on my or off of my heel or sinking into the heel, doesn't matter. Just giving ourselves the opportunity to continue to get into those hips. You're really using this as an opportunity to wake up the core, wake up that upper back. And staying low as you walk back into your squat. And we're going to walk out into the plank this time. And once we're in the plank, we're going to really drive back through the hips, take it into that bear position. Can also call this that downward dog. And then we're going to shift back into the plank. Really making sure that we're leading with the hips. We can bend those knees as much as we need to, but leading with the hips and opening up that back line of the body. Staying focused with the breath. I've got a pretty good rhythm going here. Exhale as I come forward. Inhale as I pull back. And once I pull back into this bear position, we're going to just start pedaling the feet. So straightening one leg, bending the knee, and we can even pull back into that straighter leg, into that hip. So as I come through here, you can see I'm spiraling a bit into that hip. And I'm going to get a nice stretch through my hip all the way down the outside of my leg. So that outer line of the leg, really opening that up. Whew. Did not know how much I needed this stretch today. Continuing to lead with that hip crease, the chop of the hips back, high up through those hips, getting a nice stretch. Awesome. We're going to pass through the plank, and you can either lower to your knees or just lower yourself all the way down to your stomach. And we're going to get into some tummy time action. So we're just going to do an iso hold today, but with the iso hold, know that your breath is still moving, and we can make those micro adjustments to feel more solid and connected through the position. So I'm going to start down here, hands planted on the ground, forehead. I'm going to extend through the crown of my head, lifting up my chest just a bit. I'm going to lift those elbows, those forearms off the ground, lift the legs off the ground. And I'm not going to overdo anything here. I just want to focus on engaging the back line of my body. And that doesn't mean that I have to really accentuate anything. I want to feel some nice distributed connection through the back line of my body. And I can take my eyes up a couple feet in front of me. That's it. I want to do my best to have my elbows parallel with my wrists, so nothing here where the hands drop down. So really focusing on externally rotating those shoulders. And I'm just lifting my legs off the ground enough where the knees come off the ground. Using that breath to expand away from center, and then exhale. Feel everything come into that midline, into the center line. Let's hold for 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and relax. Woo. From the tummy time, we're going to flip it over and get into a supine position. And we're just going to work on some knee tucks. So I want to be broad through my collarbone, drive the hands into the ground, and then I'm going to crunch up through my neck, through my shoulder blades. Doesn't have to be crazy. And then I'm going to bring my knees, tuck my knees in. I want to feel that hip crease. So if I notice a lot of this, we're going to avoid that for this exercise. So I actually really want to emphasize the hip flexion. So that squeeze, if I put that hand there, I'm really squeezing it. So completely relax down, crunch up, create that tension, create that pressure. Inhale long. As you're going through this rhythm, recognizing as the core starts to dial in, maybe you get a better idea of what's happening through the neck and the shoulders. Better idea what's happening through that hip crease. Everything in between with those abdominals. Let's go 2 more. And relax. We are going to take it into a shin box switch to finish things out. So sitting upright, you're gonna get active through those shoulders, active through those hands, and we're just gonna shift those knees, but I'm driving that from the hip over to one side, and I wanna create a shelf to sit on with my butt here. So that might be picking my butt up just slightly and sitting back down, getting a better sense of how to interact with the ground. From there, exhale, switching sides. Tall through the spine on the inhale, exhale, into the switch. Focusing on that movement originating from the hip. So as I open up, yes, my knee is really what is noticeable with this movement, but the hip is what's driving that movement. One thing you might notice as you go through this is the butt starts to maybe scoot this way. So you can always just reset where your hands are or bring your hips back. The idea, especially when we come to this position, find that groundedness, that root through the seat, and then going tall through the spine. Encourage you, if you're getting a lot out of this movement, to keep going. That is our session. So if you're ready to get going with your day, what I want you to do is simply take this trail leg, step it up, and boom. Ready for your day. Thanks for showing up for this session. Get out there, conquer the day, stay smooth.